2.3. Accordion Increase AA. Subject to the remainder of this clause, 2.3, at any time following the amendment and restatement. Effective date number 2 prior to the drawdown period end date, provided that no default or suspension period has occurred and is continuing, or would result from any increase pursuant to this clause 2.3. The borrower may request in writing to the facility agent that the facility limit be increased by an amount which is a minimum of 25 million euros, and which, when aggregated with the amount of each other, increase effected or requested but not yet made under this clause 2.3, does not exceed 45 million euros. An Accordion Increase Request. For the avoidance of doubt, any indebtedness introduced into the finance documents pursuant to this clause 2.3 forms part of the facility and ranks pari passu with the indebtedness in respect of the facility. B. The borrower may not make more than 3 accordion increase requests. C. An accordion increase request shall be irrevocable, signed by an authorized signatory of the borrower, and shall I. Specify the amount of the proposed new facility limit, the proposed additional facility limit, and confirm that this will not exceed 350 million euros. I'd specify the date on which the proposed additional facility limit is to be made available. And C. Confirm that no default or suspension period has occurred and is continuing or would result from the proposed additional facility limit being made available. D. The facility agent shall promptly send on to each lender, being a pre-transfer lender, with the copy to the arrangers, a copy of any accordion increase request received by it. An accordion increase request shall be deemed to be an invitation to each lender to provide a pro rata proportion based on their existing facility limits immediately prior to the accordion increase request of the proposed additional facility limit so requested. F. No lender is obliged to agree to any increase of its facility limit pursuant to an accordion increase request, and each lender may decide in its absolute discretion whether or not to increase its facility limit. Each lender which wishes to accept the invitation to increase its facility limit shall, not later than the date falling 10 business days after the date of its receipt of the accordion increase request, the response date, notify the facility agent of its acceptance and set out the terms of such acceptance, each such accepting lender being an accepting lender. If a lender declines the invitation or fails to provide a response to the facility agent by 5 p.m. on the response date, such lender shall be deemed to decline the invitation, each such declining lender being a declining lender. G. The facility agent shall offer each declining lender's proportion of the proposed additional facility limit, which it was invited to participate in, to each accepting lender on a pro rata basis, based on their existing facility limits immediately prior to the accordion increase request. And each accepting lender shall inform the facility agent within 5 business days of the date of such offer, the second response date, if it wishes to assume all or part of the declining lender's proportion. If an accepting lender fails to accept the offer on or prior to the second response date, such accepting lender shall be deemed to have rejected the offer. H. As soon as reasonably practicable following the response date, or, if applicable, the second response date, or, if earlier, such date as all lenders have provided a response to the accordion increase request, the facility agent shall notify the borrower and the lenders as to those lenders which are accepting lenders, and those lenders which are or are deemed to be declining lenders. I. Subject to paragraph and below, the proposed additional facility limit will be assumed by I. The accepting lenders, and or E. If a lender is or is deemed to be a declining lender in accordance with paragraph F above, and no other lender or lenders have agreed to assume all of each declining lender's proportion pursuant to paragraph with G above, another bank, financial institution, trust, fund or other entity, or a number of them, in place of that declining lender, and in respect of that declining lender's proportion of the proposed additional facility limit, which has not been assumed by another lender pursuant to paragraph G above, which are selected by the borrower. each an Accordion Increase lender, and each of which confirms its willingness to assume and does assume all the obligations of a lender corresponding to that part of the proposed additional facility limit, which it is to assume, such confirmation to be evidenced by its execution of an increase confirmation.